And starts now.
Welcome to Newswatch 12 at 10. I'm Justin Betty. With Wisconsin's mask mandate no longer in place, many Wisconsin schools are now debating whether or not to change their own mask policies. Tonight, the Minocqua J1 school district, in other words, Minocqua, Hazelhurst, Lake Tomahawk, discussed just that. Newswatch 12's Rachel Eiler has details from that meeting.
With no statewide mask mandate in place anymore, schools are left to decide for themselves, including right here in Minocqua, where the J1 school district had a board meeting to discuss that very matter. Parents, staff, faculty, and even healthcare providers on both sides came forward to make their voices heard. A full house with all eyes on one agenda item.
Moving to number 6, is covering power.
Emotional stories from parents on both sides of the debate.
A little over 3 months ago, I sat in the pediatric ICU and watched as my 4-year-old daughter fought for her life after being diagnosed with multi-system inflammatory syndrome in children, a rare complication that she developed because of her COVID-19 infection.
The biggest thing is that I want to bring to light is the anxiety and the tears that we got to witness from many of these kids.
With only about 6 weeks left in the school year, many parents say they want to cross the finish line, not trip over it.
I think if we take them away now, it's going to be that much harder to either keep them in school or to get the masks back on.
Following the public forum, Board Vice President Christy Seidel presented a motion to recommend masks instead of requiring them.
I think people need to be allowed to make the choice at this time since the mandate has been lifted.
With a close split on the decision, the board approved to keep the current face mask policy 3-2. While the school board did approve to keep the mask mandate in place for the rest of the school year, they plan on revisiting the topic come this summer. Reporting from the Minocqua J1 School District, Rachel Eiler, Newswatch 12.
Meanwhile, the number of new confirmed COVID-19 cases in Wisconsin has been inching down over the last few days. Today, the Department of Health Services reports 373 new cases, which brings our 7-day rolling average down to 731. Statewide, death numbers have stayed fairly low for about a month. Today, DHS reports 1 new death. We're averaging 4 per day statewide over the last week. In our 12-county north central Wisconsin region, DHS reports over the last week they've averaged 16 people in our region in the hospital with COVID-19, an average of 7 of those in the ICU. More than 40% of all people in Wisconsin now received at least 1 dose of a COVID-19 vaccine, according to latest DHS numbers. They report almost 28% of people in the state have now completed their vaccination. In Oneida County, the numbers are slightly higher. 35% of people have completed their vaccination. Outside, Jeff, was a bit of a chilly day today.
Yeah, we tried to crack 40. We didn't do it in Rhinelander, but a few places did earlier. 39 for the high today in Rhinelander, 38 for Tomahawk, 43 for Mosinee. So, you know, a big change compared with yesterday and even a colder night ahead for us tonight. Outside, currently, temperatures are hanging out in the 20s, much of the area. 27 here in Rhinelander, 27 for Antigo, 30 though for Medford. So overall, a cool night tonight with a gusty northwest wind with feel-like temperatures approaching the low teens this evening. All right, lots of cloud cover out there today, even a few snow flurries as well. There is some clear skies just to the west of us now. That we'll break into that for a couple hours tomorrow before clouds fill back in through the afternoon. We could see a few more snow flurries or light rain showers tomorrow evening. Your forecast then for tonight, though, is mostly cloudy skies, a couple of flurries out there, cold and breezy with low temperatures down near 21. Your full forecast is coming up, Justin.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Well, it may not feel like it. Summer is right around the corner, and 2 is road construction season. The State Department of Transportation has announced they have 40 projects on the state and U.S. highway systems planned for this summer, including a roughly $100 million investment in north central Wisconsin's infrastructure. Newswatch 12's Megan Mamlock has details.
We're actually working on what's called a 6-year program. So we're looking out over the next 6 years to identify where the highest needed, most priority treatments or projects are required.
Lincoln County will have a $13 to $14 million project on improving its asphalt, base materials, new guardrails, and minor grading at median crossovers, among other aspects.
A lot of the projects are resurfacing efforts. So what we'll do is we'll take the uppermost layers of the pavement off of the asphalt, put a new layer on there, and really really what that's doing is that's allowing us to extend the life of that highway.
Here in the Northwoods, we have our winter weather to thank for some of our roads being in tough shape.
For this area, by and large, the most wear and tear is caused by the freeze-thaw cycle, really by the weather. That water gets into our pavements, into our bridges, freezes and expands and really deteriorates those materials.
And it's not just the roads that Wisconsin DOT works on. They also work on structures like bridges, including the replacement of the expansion joints on a bridge in Marathon County set to begin in June. All of the projects can be found online, and there is even a weekly update people can use to find projects to learn more about road closures.
The bulk of our process that goes into designing and planning for a project is going out, getting the public's input, getting feedback from the motorists, from the local officials, working with the different regulatory agencies.
They also take accidents that occur in the area into account of what they can do to improve the safety of future motorists.
We are able to pull that information as we're coming through the project to find areas that may have higher concern than another area, identify those spot safety concerns.
That's Megan Mamlock reporting. If you have a concern about a specific road or highway, you're encouraged to contact one of the DOT's regional offices. For the first time in about 6 months, the Rhinelander District Library is now open to the public. Anyone can walk in Monday through Friday, 9 till 6. They do have some extra regulations in place. A 30-minute time limit. Masks are required for everyone older than 2, and children 13 and under must be accompanied by an adult. Curbside pickup is still available. You just need to give the library 24 hours notice. The state of Wisconsin and Foxconn have struck a new deal. Governor Tony Evers, the world's largest electronics manufacturer, announced that deal this morning. The details were not immediately released. The original deal involved nearly $4 billion in state and local tax incentives. That was struck in 2017 by then Governor Scott Walker. But state leaders say this new project will be scaled down, including reduced tax breaks. Today, the Wisconsin Department of Health Services and State DNR met to brief legislators and the public on Wisconsin's PFAS problem. Newswatch 12's Cooper Henkel has details.
So there are some estimates that for adults, 50 to 60% of our PFAS exposure is coming through our food. So this is either because it's directly in the food products themselves or because of the wrapping that had some PFAS on it.
The full scope of PFAS contamination in Wisconsin is hard to imagine, but experts agree. Something needs to be done. PFAS isn't any one chemical. It's a type of molecule used in a wide variety of products.
A great product for many different purposes because they're resistant to oil and grease, they're resistant to water, and they're resistant to heat. So they can be used in all sorts of products.
Unfortunately, PFAS may have significant health effects, impacting fertility, weakening immune responses, and increasing cholesterol, among other health impacts that are still being discovered.
Now, these effects are less well known and less well studied. Sometimes they were seen with maybe one type of PFAS, but not others. And so these are things that we're definitely still learning about.
Governor Evers' budget proposal would give $10 million annually to local governments to enact the state's action plan. One major allocation aims to help fill the data gap on PFAS contamination.
These grants will provide critical resources to help test private wells. As a reminder, 1.7 million Wisconsin residents rely on private wells.
Listening sessions for the state budget will be held across Wisconsin starting this week, with legislators looking for input on what matters to the people before settling the budget later this year. For Newswatch 12, I'm Cooper Henkel.
Still ahead, we have tonight's edition of Your 2 Cents, where we'll hear what's on viewers' minds this week. Plus later, we'll hear some of today's closing arguments in the Derek Chauvin trial. But first, Jeff's in with your full forecast. You're watching Newswatch 12. Proud to serve the town of Argonne and folks all across the Northwoods of Wisconsin.
This portion of Newswatch 12 is brought to you by Coyote 93.7.
Junction, Horan's Garden Center, Eagle River, Wisconsin. Nearly 2,000 lots, trucks, Kubota tractor, nursery stock, garden art, and much more. Contact Brass and St. Louis Auctions for more details.
Hello, my name is Terry and I'm from Phillips. I used to go on vacations with my wife Gail, but I couldn't go much over 2 hours and I'd have to stop and walk because my lower back would hurt so bad. So after my final treatment at Spinal Aid, I am pain-free and can't imagine the pain and agony that I went through prior to going.
Are you suffering with back or neck pain and considering the possibility of surgery? At the Spinal Aid Center of Wausau, we incorporate the latest technologies, including high-intensity laser therapy that provides the highest success rates in helping people just like you avoid back and neck surgery. With our treatments, there are no drugs and no surgery, just relief. Call today for a free spinal disc severity consultation and see if our treatments are right for you. Call 715-203-4392 or visit us at spinalaid.com. Start living your life pain-free.
At WJFW, our Newswatch 12 News team works around the clock to bring you the news that matters most of all to the North Woods. Our team is committed to the community and ensuring that you are as informed as possible. NBC Newswatch 12, news from where you live.
All right, temperatures are mostly in the 20s out there right now. That's a far cry from where we were yesterday at this point. It's about 30 degrees colder compared to yesterday. And yeah, that was a strong cold front that came through. It's now through. It's going to keep us cool through tomorrow and also Wednesday, followed by a warming trend getting in here on Thursday. The average now is 56. Nobody did that around here today. The average low is 31. We're below that right now. Record high being 79 back in 1915. That feels good with the sunset there at 7:50 now in the afternoon. Okay, so the wind currently, it's beginning to die down across our neck of the woods. That's good because we had feel-like temperatures in the teens throughout the afternoon today. But we still have a bit of a wind chill out there where the wind is happening. But again, it's getting better across our neck of the woods. These will closely match the air temperature tonight as the wind goes calm for several hours after midnight. Okay, so going forward though, let's talk about this. Tomorrow 38, so well below the average, right at 56. 41 for Wednesday. Okay, we got to get through it. But then look at Thursday, 58, 59 for Friday. Looking good, right? The Saturday and Sunday, okay, a bit cooler, but we'll still got this. So overall, just 2 more days of relatively cool air on the way, followed by back to where we should be. There's no real heat, though, in the long-range forecast coming our way anytime soon. So we'll keep things near average after Wednesday and Thursday this week. Today, though, lots of clouds, wind, a couple snow showers, sprinkles, cloud, wind, snow showers, sprinkles, press, repeat. That was our day today. After we hit 60 yesterday, only a high of 39 today. That felt different, didn't it? And outside now, there's still lots of clouds and a couple of flurries around. Nothing really heavy in here, but still expect a few widely scattered snow showers tonight. There is some clear skies across Minnesota currently. That is trying to move in our direction tonight. It's going to be tough. We'll call it partly cloudy, mostly cloudy skies tonight. And then there'll probably be a few hours of sun tomorrow, followed by more clouds through the afternoon. As there's still a lot going on in the atmosphere across the Great Lakes. Here's the big low kind of pulling out of here. It's one of those upper level lows, once again, that move very slowly. They do whatever they want, and they pull down some really cold air from Canada on this track, and that's what happened to us today. But there are more back behind this. This little guy here, he could swing through tomorrow evening and bring us a couple light rain showers tomorrow night, but overall, it's going to be a quiet pattern around here for a couple days, maybe a couple of rain showers on Saturday. Futurecast shows the clouds pulling out of here tonight for a few hours, followed by increasing clouds tomorrow morning once again, and we'll call it mostly cloudy tomorrow before we have decreasing clouds again tomorrow evening, with maybe a couple rain showers in there as well. And then overall, kind of a cloudy stretch of weather is on the way before we get some better weather maybe next week, but still lots of clouds are coming our way. Our forecast for tonight, though, is lots of clouds out there, still a bit breezy at times, a couple flurries in there too, with low temperatures temperatures down near 21, and that northwest wind could still gust near 15 to 20, even though it's died down across the area right now. For tomorrow, so clouds once again, although there could be a couple hours of sunlight tomorrow. If you get under that or with that, you could see temperatures spike into the low 40s real quickly. Otherwise, though, we're stuck in the upper 30s again tomorrow with a couple of sprinkles around. And then looking ahead, your 7-day forecast by Northwoods Furniture and Mattress shows Wednesday, 41, mostly cloudy. Thursday, Earth Day, 58, partly cloudy. And there's our next chance for some rain showers on Saturday with a high of 52. Justin?
Thanks, Jeff. What's in Jeff's cabin and what's on our digital sub-channels? Those are among the topics on our viewers' mind in tonight's Your 2 Cents.
To listen to your messages, press L. Just want to let you know that Jeff didn't have a raccoon in his hunting camp or whatever it is. If he looks and researches those tracks there, he's got a cat in there of some sort.
I don't know why you did this, but why on earth did you put 2 shopping channels on your on channel 12? There's other channels you could have gotten that would be more exciting, but shopping channels? You can get that on cable. Thank you.
Just wanted to let you know how much we thoroughly enjoy Justin and Jeff. Very professional, very personable. We've lived in larger metropolitan areas, and the 2 guys are absolutely on par, maybe even better than some of the broadcasters in larger metropolitan areas. So just thank you so much for your professionalism.
Thank you. If you want to make your voice heard on Your 2 Cents, give us a call, 715-365-8812. It's extension 319. Again, 715-365-8812, extension 319. It's a voicemail, so call anytime. I'll respond to some of your calls on Friday as part of my 2 cents. Spring sports season is now finally underway across the Northwoods. Let you know how soon different athletes will be competing in just a few minutes. But first, here's tonight's Job Watch.
Job Watch is brought to you by Ripco Credit Union.
Your eyes are everything. They're how you see the world and connect with others. At Shopco Optical, your eyes are everything to us too, which is why we offer everything to help you see better and look better. A huge selection of designer frames, convenient locations, and experienced optometrists. We're Shopco Optical. You'll see. Right now, get 50% off lenses with the purchase of any frames.
Whether it's for work or play, you want a truck that'll get the job done right. We have them all. Half-ton trucks, Power Strokes, Cummins, Duramax, SUVs, over 800 to choose from. Know that all Lenz trucks are fully inspected, certified clean, can be purchased online, and can be delivered right to your door. It's our way of saying thanks to our past and future customers for the last 35 years. Go now to lenztruck.com.
Lenz Truck. In America, the future belongs to everyone, so we built the SUV of the future for everyone. Ford Explorer, America's best-selling SUV, available with automatic emergency braking to help you feel more confident on the road. Because the SUV of the future isn't built for a few, it's built for America. Ford Explorer, drive one today. Now, lease the Ford Explorer for $399 a month, only at your Wisconsin and UP Ford dealers.
Freshly mown grass and sounds of friends' laughter is in the air. You're ready to rock the summer. And so is Wickersham Jewelry during their annual Diamonds and Grill event, April 12th through May 1st. Give her the gorgeous ring she's been dreaming of. And get the Yeti Tundra 45 cooler or Traeger grill you've always wanted. Interest-free financing available. Wickersham Jewelry. If you can dream it, we can make it.
Coming up on your Tuesday, we'll speak with Nurse Christina Paris on this week's Nursing the North.
And on and off chances of rain and snow showers will be possible throughout the week, Peter, as temperatures will slowly begin to warm up. More on that when you tune in on your Tuesday.
This portion of Newswatch 12 is brought to you by Ag Country Farm Credit Services.
Sports Watch 12 with Griffin Stroing starts now.
Spring sport athletes have been very patient, slowly counting down the days until they can finally play their sport of choice. And today was the lucky day, their first day of practice for certain spring sports. I thought it was ironic that on this cold, windy day, spring sports started. We've had way nicer days in the past, but hey, who cares? The teams are finally playing. But the Rhinelander baseball and softball team were able to stay warm and cozy inside the confines of the Hodag Dome. Both baseball and softball teams will have to practice this week, but then they can play a game as early as next Tuesday, the 27th. The other sport that began today was track and field for both boys and girls. They are in the same boat. They cannot officially have a meet until next Tuesday. I don't know who's more excited, me or the student athletes for their first set of games. We'll have highlights from all the spring sports coming up in the next couple of weeks. When it comes to the Bucks game tonight, I was excited. Milwaukee is fun to watch because of Giannis, but the Suns team they're facing is intriguing. They have been at the bottom of the West for years, but now they're at the top. And what a game this was. A game down to the wire, but let's start in the first. Giannis here gonna get it done on defense with the steal, and then this is what the fans paid to see. The one-hand jam, but he wasn't done there. In the second, Giannis is gonna go down the line, and another dunk, the power behind that one. This game would go all the way into overtime, and we're tied at 127. Devin Booker for the win. No good, but just wait a second. A foul was called on the play. Budenholzer, he can't believe it. I mean, you be the judge. It doesn't seem like a foul to me, but what do I know? Booker would make one free throw. The Suns win it, 128 to 127. In 2019, the Wisconsin volleyball team made it all the way to the national championship game. They would lose in that game, but they still had that bitter taste in their mouth. But they got one step closer today. Taking on the 8th-seeded Florida Gators in this one, a great match, and it went all the way to the 5th set. The first time the Badgers had to play a 5th set all year long. Badgers down 3, what do you got to do? Give it to your captain, Molly Haggerty, with the spike. Wisconsin just inching back into this final 5th set. Now down 1, Florida setting up the spike, but they will be denied at the net by freshman Devin Robinson. That's just what the Badgers needed. This game is tied at 9 apiece. Now match point, they only played a 15 in the 5th set, and it's deja vu. Florida trying to stay alive, but Dana Retke says no. Wisconsin is moving on to the Final Four. Next up for them is Texas. Now, since baseball season has started, we have been showing a lot of the Brewers. They're a fun team to watch. Their pitchers have been electric, and when they can get the bats going, I mean, they're must-watch TV. But I'm going to have to give you some bad news. You won't see Brewer highlights for a little bit, but it's only because they're out on the West Coast. They're taking on the San Diego Padres right now. The game is tied at 1-1. Padres are one of the best teams in baseball, so it's a very interesting match. First pitch was at 9:10. So, hey, if you're a night owl, watch the game. It'll be a good one. And that's all I got in sports. Justin, back to you.
Thanks, Griffin. Tonight we are still waiting for a verdict in the trial of the former police officer charged with killing George Floyd. We'll listen in on today's closing arguments in the Derek Chauvin trial after the break.
This portion of Newswatch 12 is brought to you by Stone Innovations, Rhinelander and Plover.
Farming today doesn't always feel the same way it used to. Then again, some of it feels all the same. Maybe it isn't so much the jobs that changed, but how they get done. Now that's a different story. Everything got bigger and smaller at the same time. Insurance, accounting, and taxes can get complicated, so you need an expert who's looking to keep every dollar possible in your pocket. Ag Country. Experts in every field.
My name's Arthur, Merrill, Wisconsin. In August of 2019, I started getting numbness in my feet. By July of 2020, my feet were so numb, I lost a sense of balance. I thought I was walking on stilts. I seen this ad for spinal aid. I took 20 treatments from them, and by then my feet were 90% better and no longer felt as I was walking on stilts.
Are you experiencing weakness, numbness, and or pain in your feet or hands? These sensations might even be affecting other areas of your body along with your balance. You might have already been diagnosed with peripheral neuropathy and are taking drugs such as Lyrica, gabapentin, or Cymbalta that never seems to help. Neuropathy pain ultimately diminishes your quality of life. Call Spinal Aid of Wausau today to see if our treatment methods are right for you. Call 715-203-1508 to schedule your neuropathy severity consultation or visit us at spinalaid.com.
Real estate auction, May 15th. Beautiful Duck Lake home in Eagle River being sold to the highest bidder regardless of price. Contact Brass and St. Louis Auctions for more details.
Are you or a loved one a homebound individual with limited or no access to transportation and are looking to get vaccinated for the COVID-19 virus? If so, please contact our staff at the Aging and Disability Resource Center in Oneida and Vilas counties today. The ADRC team will provide assistance in registering for the vaccine and can arrange safe and reliable transportation for homebound people to travel to the scheduled vaccine appointments. We'll make it simple to get the vaccine.
At WJFW, our Newswatch 12 News team works around the clock to bring you the news that matters most of all to the North Woods. Our team is committed to the community and ensuring that you are as informed as possible. NBC Newswatch 12, news from where you live.
Police have now identified the suspect in a shooting at a Kenosha tavern that left 3 men dead, 3 others injured over the weekend. Kenosha County Sheriff's officials identified that man as 24-year-old Rakeo Alandis Vinson. Sheriff David Beth said earlier the incident started when a suspect was asked to leave the Summers House Tavern, but then returned and opened fire. Sergeant David Wright said Vincent is now facing first-degree intentional homicide charges with more charges likely. Tonight, we are still awaiting a verdict in the trial of Derek Chauvin. Earlier today, both the prosecution and defense presented their closing arguments while tensions outside the courtroom continue to grow. Jay Gray has the latest from Minneapolis.
He did what he did on purpose, and it killed George Floyd.
Prosecutors labeling Derek Chauvin's actions the day George Floyd died an abuse of power, an assault, a betrayal of his badge.
You can see this with your own eyes. You could see what happened, that he couldn't breathe. He said he couldn't breathe.
Telling jurors they don't need to look much further than the video of Floyd's dying moments to understand this case.
For 9 minutes and 29 seconds, he begged, George Floyd begged until he could speak no more.
9 minutes, 29 seconds. It's not the proper analysis because the 9 minutes and 29 seconds ignores the previous 16 minutes and 59 seconds.
A struggle defense attorney Eric Nelson says framed the events in Chauvin's actions that day. The former Minneapolis police officer removing his mask, facing the jury as Nelson highlights Floyd's health issues, use of drugs, and the gathering crowd as factors in Floyd's death, telling the panel Chauvin never violated police policy.
These are the actions of a reasonable police officer.
Reasonable is as reasonable does. And here what you saw wasn't reasonable, and you didn't get the whole truth.
In their rebuttal, the final word with the jury, prosecutors called the defense's statements a, quote, story.
So there aren't two sides to the story as to the unreasonable use of force. And when Mr. Floyd is saying, please, please, I can't breathe, 27 times in just a few minutes.
Closing with an image at the core of their case, Derek Chauvin's knee across George Floyd's neck. The jury returned to the courthouse this morning, prepared to stay for a while. They'll be sequestered until they reach a verdict. Jay Gray, NBC News, Minneapolis.
Saturday, April 24th, the Wisconsin Department of Justice will be holding a free prescription drug take-back event. If you have unused or unwanted medications, ointments, patches, non-aerosol sprays, inhalers, vials, or pet medication, clean out your medicine cabinets. Don't let your old medication fall into the wrong hands by disposing of unused or unwanted medications properly. For more information on locations and accepted items, go to doseofrealitywi.gov. This information is brought to you by the Human Service Center of Forest, Vilas, and Oneida County.
Pittsburgh Paints and Stains. The perfect paint for when the nursery becomes the bedroom. That becomes his room. That becomes your favorite room in the house. Paint because you want to, not because you have to. For results that stand up to whatever life brings. Trust Pittsburgh Paints and Stains. Exclusively at Menards. Get 11% off everything, including Pittsburgh Paints and Stains.
I was watching my team come from behind when my son says, "Dad, I'm taking a girl to the dance." And I was like, "You can borrow my car, just make sure your shoes are shined and the car is clean." And then I was like, "Hold on, go to Quick Trip and get the Elite Wash." On the day of the dance, my son washed my car and shined his shoes. But he did something on his own accord. My son goes, "Do you think she would like this?" And the Quick Trip lady is like, "You betcha." Kid's got a bright future.
Quick Trip, we got you covered.
Hi, I'm Dennis from Irma. I've had excruciating pain in my lower back and neck. And I contacted Dr. Scherer. We went over the situation together. And after a series of treatments, my pain is gone. So I feel that it was complete and successful.
Are you suffering with back or neck pain and considering the possibility of surgery? At the Spinal Aid Center of Wausau, we incorporate the latest technologies, including high-intensity laser therapy that provides the highest success rates in helping people just like you avoid back and neck surgery. With our treatments, there are no drugs and no surgery, just relief. Call today for a free spinal disc severity consultation and see if our treatments are right for you. Call 715-203-4392 or visit us at spinalaid.com. Start living your life pain-free.
Hi, I'm Maria Seefeld with Miracle Ear of Marshfield. If you're struggling hearing your favorite news or TV shows, please stop in and see me for a free hearing test.
All right, this plane leaves at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. The air up there is cold. It's 37 degrees below zero, 20,000 feet up right now. Here at the surface, though, it's a little warmer, can we call it? 27 here in Rhinelander, 30 in Medford, 34 for Wausau. It's just cold for mid-April. Warmer temperatures, though, are on the way, just not yet. Lots of cloud cover out there now, a couple snow flurries as well, followed by decreasing clouds tonight, and then maybe an hour or two of sunshine tomorrow. But here we go. So, forecast shows warmer temperatures Thursday, Friday, into Saturday.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Thank you for joining us on Newswatch 12 at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next. Have a great night.